Two innocent lives lost. A drunk driver who never should have been in this country is behind the wheel. Instead of outrage at the system that allowed it, the left attacks a woman who spoke up, calling her a racist bigot. This is the moral rot we're up against, y'all. And while the media tries to frame this as political debate, ICE is unleashing a wave of raids across California right now. From the streets of Los Angeles to the doors of so-called untouchable suspects.
A mother and her 11-year-old daughter were killed when they were hit head-on by an illegal alien.
Do you know their names? Without Googling? You and I both know you don't. You just use them to make your little bigoted video because you're a piece of shit. You're a fucking horrible human being and a goddamn hypocrite. 1,000 kids were raped by fucking youth pastors in Christian churches in the United States last year. 13,000 people died in fucking drunk driving related accidents, most of them killed by U.S. fucking citizens. White U.S. citizens are 2 to 4 times as likely to commit violent crimes as immigrants. Those are all fucking facts. Those are all statistical facts. But you're going to cherry pick one fucking illegal immigrant who absolutely had a drinking and driving problem and shouldn't have been on the road to make your little video, not because you're worried about drunk drivers, but because you're a fucking racist.
This is a grown man. And this is what you see with many in the modern Democratic Party. I'm going to say this slowly. The point of the video was that illegal immigrant should not have been in the country. And as a result of him being allowed to be in the country when he shouldn't have been in the country, 2 people are now dead. And it's so interesting because many of these people act like they're so morally superior, but then they're rude, they're arrogant, they're condescending. They call you names, they attack you, they call you horrible person simply because you disagree with them. They call you bigot, they call you racist, they call you all the names in the book. It's like they don't have a mirror, they're above reproach. You can tell many of these people are not emotionally stable. And the Democratic Party manipulates that emotion to continue to get their vote, but they don't realize it. Many of these people are disingenuous and in many ways are the exact thing they claim to hate. Just a reminder, I have a free email newsletter where I cover many things the mainstream media does not cover. The link to that is in my profile. Just go to my profile, click the link, you'll see the screen here, drop your email in here, hit subscribe, and you'll be good to go. That's all I got for now. We'll see you in the next one.
No, this isn't complicated. If he wasn't here illegally, 2 people would still be alive right now. That's not racism, that's reality. But here comes the self-proclaimed morally superior crowd. Quick to change the subject, throw statistics at you and paint you as hateful for attempting, or not even attempting, for literally pointing out the obvious. You tell them that the sky's the sky. No, you're just a bigot. I'm telling you, man, they love to say crime happens everywhere, but we're talking about a crime that never had to happen in the first place. When your morality is so wrapped up and warped that protecting illegal status matters more than protecting lives, I don't think you can call yourself the good guy. And while they're arguing online, ICE already is on the ground in California, facing off with protesters who think blocking arrests is some kind of noble cause. Now, I can't play the audio to this because they place music on it. Yeah, I get real creative with it, right? But you see it here. They obviously wanted to make a statement. I mean, you see, you got one in handcuffs right there. This is what happens when you treat law enforcement like a game of tag. That's what this whole thing looked like to me. Let me bring this down my fault, y'all, so I get the full picture. Truth is, a lot of these protests, that's where they at right now. are coordinated shields, giving cover for people ICE has been targeting for I don't know how long, weeks, months, some of them even years. Well, not in the Biden administration, but if you're willing to risk arrest to keep someone from facing deportation, you better be willing to take responsibility if they hurt somebody tomorrow. And for some, ICE didn't have to come to a protest. They went straight to the front door.
A Fontana man narrowly escapes being detained by federal immigration agents, slipping into his apartment and slamming the door shut, just as an agent tries to kick it in. He says, "I was running and thank the Lord I was able to call my wife and tell her to open the door because I was being chased." Jose, who asked us not to use his last name, is undocumented and from Nicaragua. He shared this surveillance video from the July 30th incident. He says, "I was leaving for work when 4 vans came up on me, one in the front and another behind me. They tried to box me in." He says he managed to drive back home, jumping out of his truck and running, leaving behind his key, wallet, and cashier's check for rent. Since then, Jose and his family have been too afraid to leave their apartment. He claims agents have come back, once even showing him his own house key, but never a warrant. He says they did not present anything to me. When they were kicking my door, they never said, "Hey, Jose, we have a paper stating we are here to take you." Nothing. In response to Eyewitness News requests for information, the Department of Homeland Security released a statement about Jose, calling him a dangerous criminal illegal alien from Nicaragua with a criminal history including assault with a deadly weapon, exhibiting a deadly weapon, and disturbing the peace. But court records tell a different story. The more serious charges, assault with a deadly weapon and exhibiting a deadly weapon, were dismissed. Jose ultimately pleaded guilty to disturbing the peace. He says the incident stemmed from a dispute with a neighbor, someone he called police on for allegedly pointing a gun at him. It was nothing more than a verbal confrontation. The judge saw that my neighbor lied and the charges were erased, as this document here shows. Jose says he fled the U.S. in 2022, escaping political persecution in Nicaragua after speaking out against government corruption. He says he applied for asylum under Biden administration's CB1 program. Now a fund has been set up to help Jose and his family with their rent, food, and legal fees.
Somebody wrote the assault charge stems from a neighbor Jose says pulled a gun on him and his family. Jose called the cops when he showed the judge the surveillance video. The case fell apart. Jose fled Nicaragua after speaking out against corruption. And they say he applied for asylum legally under the Biden CPOK. Let me show y'all the comment, matter of fact. I don't know. Jose makes it home just in time to keep ICE from forcing their way in. DHS calls him a dangerous criminal. Court records say he's the worst. The worst charges were dropped. This is a tightrope ICE has to walk. Enforce aggressively, but be right every single time. Because if they miss, the left gets a perfect soundbite. But if they're right, then he's dangerous. And the critics suddenly go quiet. You're right. But they did. That silence says more than any protest or chant ever could. But Jose's case is just one example of the gray areas ICE is moving through. And the next case shows how paperwork can decide someone's future.
We were told young Sugo, who goes by Sue, was detained here in New York City, but we've learned the South Korean immigrant is in Monroe, Louisiana, in custody at a federal immigration facility. Now, Sue has been in the U.S. with her mom, an Episcopal priest, for 4 years on a religious visa, but they were separated last week when Sue showed up to a court for a routine immigration hearing and was detained by ICE officials. An immigration judge here in the city had already scheduled Sue's next court appearance for October. But after they tried to exit, ICE agents stepped in and took her into custody. Now, in response to her arrest, yesterday, friends and loved ones of the 20-year-old from Scarsdale demanded her return and release. And Sue was heading into her sophomore year at Purdue University this fall, but instead she's at Richwood Correction Facility, again in Louisiana, reportedly facing pressure to self-deport.
And so it's a very, very disturbing, very scary, very chaotic, and in many ways very cruel practice. In this case, the family has been separated, and a mother is left to wonder what's happening with her daughter, where her daughter is, what the conditions are like, and when she'll be returned home.
Now, meanwhile, ICE officials sent Fox 5 a statement in part saying, quote, young Sue Go, an illegal alien from South Korea, overstayed her visa that expired more than 2 years ago. President Trump and Secretary Noem are committed to restoring integrity to the visa program and ensuring it is not abused to allow aliens a permanent one-way ticket to remain in the U.S. But here's the conflict. According to Sue's lawyers' understanding, back in June in 2023, she and her mother's 2021 visas were extended through December this year, meaning it was valid and should have prevented the student's arrest. So is this a federal violation of Sue's due process? An immigration attorney says the short answer to that is no.
This time, it really seems that the White House and its advisors had enough time to do their homework when it comes to what may be legal, but not necessarily moral. And I believe that, unfortunately, this is the case where the U.S. government has the ability, the legal ability, to detain individuals like this young lady, like so. But is it really the best use of our resources?
Now, that same attorney predicts Sue's not likely to receive bond in Louisiana while her case plays out. It could take between 3 and 6 months to get a trial date. And even then, there's a serious chance Sue could get deported. ICE officials tell us they've placed the student in, quote, expedited removal proceeding.
ICE says she overstayed her visa about 2 years. Her lawyers say it was extended. If her visa was valid, then that means ICE messed up. If it wasn't, this is exactly how the system should work. You know, the media only tells you one side. They'll play the student victim angle without asking the simplest questions. Was she here legally or not? Immigration isn't about feelings, it's about facts. And facts do have deadlines. But sometimes, ICE just don't miss. They don't just mess up with the paperwork. They can miss the target entirely.
Marketing designer, 32-year-old U.S. citizen and marketing designer, was forcibly detained by ICE agents in downtown Los Angeles this past June while simply walking to work. As she was being dropped off by her mother and sister, masked federal agents approached her without identifying themselves. Her family thought she was being kidnapped and called 911. But Andrea wasn't abducted by strangers. She was tackled, handcuffed, and thrown into an unmarked vehicle by federal officers. She was later charged with assaulting a federal agent, but her lawyers say she was only trying to defend herself. ICE claims she was interfering with their attempt to arrest someone else. But Andrea's family and the public aren't buying it. Video of the incident went viral, sparking outrage and protests. Many are calling this a clear case of racial profiling. Andrea is a U.S. citizen of Hispanic descent, and her supporters say she was targeted simply for how she looked. For over 24 hours, her family had no idea where she was. Now she's out on bond, facing federal charges, while her legal team prepares to fight back, calling this a case of excessive force and wrongful detention. This isn't just about one woman, it's about the dangerous line being crossed when immigration enforcement targets American citizens. Share this and follow for more.
Andrea Velez is her name, a U.S. citizen, allegedly tackled. I don't know, I ain't seen the video proof. You know, sometimes these be stories put together by AI. But tackled, cuffed, and thrown into an unmarked vehicle. If they got the wrong person, that would be a major fail, right? And there's the hard truth, though. One mistake like this could undo public support for hundreds of correct operations. I mean, I get that it comes with the territory, but you know who I'm talking about, not the people who don't. People who use moments like that and see, ICE is racist, you know. They never mention the accuracy rate. That's why enforcement has to be airtight, because one viral moment becomes the new truth for people who never wanted enforcement to exist in the first place. And while ICE plays chess with legal challenges and media narratives, others are trying to turn the whole system into, let's say, a circus.
I just filled out an application to become an ICE agent. This is what's going to happen, okay? Look, if I get this job, every time they say that they are going to be doing an ICE raid, take for example, right? They have an ICE raid coming up in Los Angeles again. I am going to come onto TikTok and I'm going to release that information to all you guys. I mean, come on. You guys are in my comments telling me I'm a nopal, telling me that I'm a trader, but not spelled like trader, but spelled like trader, like I'm trading cards. But anyways, you guys are going to get the information first, bro. I mean, shit, I'm here to help you guys out. Say
not him with the... I'm just now noticing he got the Trump. He got the Trump dog holding the mic.
But not spelled like trader, but spelled like trader, like I'm trading cards. But anyways, you guys are going to get the information first, bro. I mean, shit, I'm here to help you guys out. Say they deport one Mexican. Guess what? I'm going to go to Mexico and bring back 2 Mexicans, bro. I'm going to bring back 2 Mexicans for the people, bro. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to spread this information and let you guys know you guys are in good hands. We got to keep this on the hush hush. So just stay safe out there in the streets, and I will give you guys an update as soon as possible. Have a good day, y'all.
Now, this is obviously satire, obviously, but it's the kind of joke that exposes a real problem. If someone like this actually gets in, every raid would be blown before it ever happened. And only people celebrating would be the cartels and the open border politicians. We can laugh at it here, but infiltration, leaks, and inside help are part of why enforcement is harder than most people actually realize. Sometimes the truth hides in a joke. And this one hits closer to home than some might want to admit. You seen California just got a taste of what real immigration enforcement looks like. It rattled every corner. The media told you y'all was untouchable. Then you got a drunk driving tragedy that never should have happened. To protesters trying to block arrests. To ICE showing up the doors in courtrooms. This is a reminder that sanctuary policies don't erase consequences, y'all. Same thing. 4X. Definitely got to give y'all some shout out. Oh, whoa, where's my phone? Oh, wow. Okay. Let me see. Do I got a video of mine up? Okay, I just posted a video. Let's go to this one and shout out everybody over here real quick. Oh, man. But yeah, if you watching on YouTube, you know, definitely follow me on these 2 platforms up here on X and on Rumble. I got to give a shout out to, hold on, I got to zoom in. Hold on. What's that? Russia Saunders? Anthony J 1775. Sam Barrett 867. Jason Cox 9883. And Lindell. Is it Lindell Better? 9635. Thank y'all so much for y'all support. Once again, y'all be safe. Go check out somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.